Um, all right, thanks, Kevin. Um, Welcome everyone to the 22nd Northern Wild Sheep and Goat Council Symposium. The last time the symposium was in Alberta was 2006 in Kananaskis country. And of course, it was a very different time then. This symposium is our very first virtual symposium, and I have many people to thank for bringing it all together. It has actually been a rough road, but I have the pleasure of working with the best group of people you could ask for to meet all the challenges to get where we are today. First, I'd like to thank Rob Harris and Jenna Curtis from Alberta Environment and Parks. Rob Harris is Director of the Engagement and Education. Jenna Curtis is Community Engagement Lead. We couldn't be here without their technical help. When I brought the symposium back to Alberta from Montana in 2018, I was preparing for a traditional meeting, hotel venue, field trips, face-to-face, social. And of course, that all changed with COVID in March. And then we had to cancel and consider November. Then in the summer, with the border closures between the two countries, we made us realize if we wanted to hold an event in 2020, it would have to be virtual. So we had been planning all along. Most of the planning was actually done before we canceled. I just want to have a thanks to Barb Johnson and Brian Macbeth from Banff National Park and Grant Chapman from Alberta Environment and Parks for helping to plan the now canceled field trip. And right off the bat, I'd like to thank Alberta Environment and Parks for the use of Ann Hub's conference call line. It was very well used over these last few years. The core of my committee worked really hard and came up with many innovative ideas. John Jorgensen, retired biologist, Alberta Environment and Parks, 2 years ago was opening a bank account for our symposium. He wrote our budgets, kept our spending in line, and just offered meticulous input throughout the whole planning process. Kirby Smith, retired biologist, Alberta Environment and Parks, organized the field trips, kept track of all of our sponsors, and planned our virtual social tonight, Battle of the Bands. I would actually like to thank Mount View Barbecue in Banff and Brewster Bus Lines for returning 100% of our deposits very graciously. Mike Jokinum, biologist, Alberta Conservation Association. Mike and the ACA designed our 2020 logo, handled all the registrations twice, and overall just provided an excellent service. Dr. Catherine Ruckstall, professor, University of Calgary, in charge of the program and all 17 versions of the agenda. Organizing speakers, moderators, and putting that on paper is no small task. Ann Hubs, biologist, Alberta Environmental Parks. She researched our physical venues in the first, organized the disease session, helped Catherine with the agenda, liaised with Rob Harris and Jenna Curtis to make sure we are all prepared for these 3 days of Zoom meetings. And Halloween, I told my son that after 3 days of Zoom meetings, I'm going to be a zombie. And he says, oh no, you're going to be a Zombie. So welcome all future Zombies. Kevin Hurley, Wild Sheep Foundation, and our longtime executive director of the Northern Wild Sheep and Goat Council. We simply could not have done it without you. You made all our work easier to get done. Your experience and your depth of knowledge just helped us through every part of the decision-making process. You managed our website, arranged the Wild Wool film, and lead on the mountain goat position paper, which you'll be talking coming up in the business meeting. Thank you, Kevin, for everything you've done. Once more, I'd like to thank all our sponsors for staying with us through all of these changes. And I'm pleased to officially open the 2020 Northern Wild Sheep and Goat Council Symposium. We'll have some great papers. We'll have a business meeting, a virtual social, and in the end, there will be a 2020 proceedings published. And with that, I'll hand it back to Kevin to introduce Matt.
Okay, Beth, thank you.